Alright, what's going on, guys? We're in a project, aka David Rivera, in here for another video. And basically going to be talking about, like I just mentioned, with the Superstar shakeup for Raw and SmackDown Live. And with that being said, I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time, even though it's going to be happening tonight on Raw and tomorrow night in SmackDown Live. And how I'm going to really do about it, I'm not going to go far too much into, like, everybody who's going to be switch and stuff like that. I feel like, to me, it's going to be a basic trade. It's not really a draft, if you will. So it's going to be the managers actually probably sitting down, or actually maybe going out to the ring or something like that and talking things out on who they want to change, or maybe if they wanted to have superstars go into the ring, have a set of matches to determine who would get traded, and maybe even whoever is wrestling for tonight or SmackDown Live could possibly be affected, with that being said, to have things shaken up a bit. So, not so much a draft lottery, but like it is being shaken up. So we'll see what happens with that. We've been hearing rumors about trades, possibly seeing who could go where, most likely. So with that being said, for the WWE title, like this one right here, I'm sure it probably won't get traded, especially with the rest of the champions. So, excluding maybe the Cruiserweight Championship, especially too, if the Cruiserweights get traded, then the Cruiserweight title will have to go to SmackDown Live, which I kind of do see. I would like to see that. I think more on Tuesday nights, that's where the Cruiserweights really shine. If you watch 205 Live, you can see that there's more realness to the Cruiserweights. They have more of a story to them and stuff like that. Things have been built up pretty more properly. There's more time and stuff like that. Then on Raw, you don't really get to see too much. Yeah, you get to see the two matches, and it actually helps out with the 3 hours for Raw. But I feel like if they go to SmackDown Live, and they have the show right after SmackDown anyway, so it'll actually be a lot easier, and that's where the Cruiserweights got started, on SmackDown. So I feel like the more better book there, if you ask me. So that's fine. That's the only champion that I can really see being traded, with the rest of the Cruiserweights, like with Neville and everybody else being drafted, well, basically shaken up and traded to SmackDown Live. So there you have it with that. So I think that would be pretty interesting. I'm not going to go through everybody per se, especially like the tag team champions with the Broken Hardys. I know in their premonition that they're looking to win every single title. They already got the Raw tag team titles, so depending on how long they're going to be in WWE, maybe within the draft, and depending if they're still champions at the time of the upcoming draft, which I'm pretty sure will probably happen around maybe Battleground time, or sometime in the summer, before SummerSlam, like how it was last year, if they do one, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be an annual thing. So I'm sure they'll get the SmackDown tag team titles and everything. So I'm going through with the tablet here. You can see Naomi, the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So going through the rest of this stuff. What would be cool too, speaking of Tyler Bate, as I have him right here scrolling through the roster, I think that'd be pretty cool if the UK guys can go over to Raw, and then I know they're having their own show, so why not have the UK title actually be defended on Raw too, especially helping in the new show and stuff like that. So SmackDown can have the Cruiserweights, and Raw can have the UK guys. I think that would be pretty interesting. Or it could go vice versa, if you really think about it. Now with this being said, I know hearing about AJ Styles possibly being drafted to Raw, that could basically happen probably. But actually now with Shinsuke on SmackDown too, I would like to see the possible matchup that I've heard before with friends and stuff. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura would be really cool to see, especially for this title too. Later on at some point, it doesn't even have to be for the title. So that'd be pretty cool. So with that being said, you know, AJ, I kind of want to see him stay on SmackDown, if you ask me. With that, going into other stuff, depends on, you know, where things are gonna go. I do see Apollo Crews still staying on SmackDown. Pretty much the same for Baron Corbin. New Day for SmackDown, that'd be pretty cool. A different change up for them. I can see some other tag teams being able to go to SmackDown. Somewhat End Zone Cast would be pretty interesting. Just to have that really cool change for the tag team division, especially with guys like Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke and the Revival. I see them staying as is since they just got called up right after WrestleMania. So I don't really see them going anywhere, so that does make sense to me. On that note, Cesaro and Sheamus, I kind of want to see them actually split up. I think that would be pretty cool. Have one be on Raw and the other one on SmackDown. Because with that being said, I actually wanted to see the final matchup of the best of 7 series, and now that they're basically a team now, so we'll see what happens with that. So maybe we'll still get to see that and then still be on Raw and then have them split and then go for the singles one, because I really would like to see that, especially for Cesaro. So we'll see what happens with that. Charlotte the Queen, I think that would be pretty cool to see on SmackDown as well as Sasha, and have a couple of others go to Raw, maybe have Natalya on Raw or something like that. Kind of like what me and Leduc are doing, somewhat similar to our roster in a way, if you will, if you remember that a while back for our draft series. So, some of the stars that I have and some of the superstars that he does have would be pretty cool on how that's going to be turning about. So there's that. The commentary team, I know Simon mentioned this, is there going to be an actual change up with that? I wouldn't have really so much of a problem with that. We'll see what happens. Also on a side note, I know Mauro Morano, he's actually out right now, which kind of sucks. I know there's a whole thing going on with him, so we'll see what happens when he comes back and see where he's going to be going, if there is a trade and stuff like that. Having him on Raw would be pretty interesting. Maybe have Corey Graves on SmackDown and to see where that goes. So, with that being said, hopefully Mauro does get better. I know he's dealing with a lot right now, so that's understandable and whatever have you. I'm just going at random here, not everybody. So, maybe Emma, maybe have Emma, Evil Emma, maybe go to SmackDown and stuff with the trade and stuff. That would be pretty cool. I like how they're having her as Evil Emma. So far it's going really well, so hopefully that sticks and everything. Finn Balor, I think he's still going to be on Raw still, since he just came back from injury and stuff, so I don't really see any of that happening. And basically stuff like that. I mean, in a nutshell of what could be happening, I think that's pretty much self-explanatory in terms of that. Like The Miz and Maurice, I think they'll basically still be on SmackDown, and I'm sure The Miz will probably be working the match with Shinsuke, since Shinsuke actually debuted when The Miz had Miz TV, I believe, yeah, at the time, so there was that. So I would like to actually see a matchup between the two, so that'd be pretty interesting. And I'm sure, of course, like Mickey, I'm sure she's gonna still stay on SmackDown. If she goes to Raw, that'd be pretty cool, but I think she's gonna be able to stay there and stuff like that. I don't think there'll be any other shakeups for NXT. I don't think they'd really be affected per se, so I think that would be fine. Sami Zayn, I think it would be pretty dope to see him on SmackDown. That would be pretty interesting. Maybe someone for like a Rusev and stuff like that. I see Samoa Joe pretty much staying on Raw. Same thing, guys like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Not too sure. I think it would be better to stay on Raw if you ask me. So we'll see with that. And yeah, that pretty much does it. I mean, not going through everybody, but just going through some people and stuff I heard and stuff like that. What could possibly be happening? What would be shaking up again? So we'll see what happens for Raw tonight and SmackDown Live. Who do you think would be traded? Who do you think should be? Will the commentary team be affected? What do you think about the cruiserweights? Are you with me on that? Do you think they should go to SmackDown and actually stay there and also deal with 205 Live? Or do you find them better on Raw and stuff like that? Do you think champions, yes, champions actually be traded on this show and everything for Raw and SmackDown Live? So a lot can happen. I'm sure we'll probably expect some things that we are going to really expect some changes, I'm sure, will be made like WWE normally does on that. So it's going to be interesting, and things will most definitely be, I'm sure, shaken up depending on how they're going to really do this. I'm curious to see how it's going to be brought out. So expect most of the stars from SmackDown to be on Raw tonight, and it'll be basically a full house there. Maybe some interpromotional matches or something like that. Pretty cool interactions between Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan, possibly with Shane. I'm sure he'll be there. I don't think Stephanie will be back yet with Triple H, so we'll see what happens going into that, and going into the new calendar year, if you will, for WWE, going into Payback and Backlash, to see if anything will change, especially too with the possible matchups that are going to be happening for, especially for Payback and for Backlash. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with that in terms of any changes. So with that being said, that is my thoughts and opinions. What are yours? Feel free to leave a video response to this. Leave your comments down below, and we'll talk about that in the comment box as well. Until then, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like it, then hey, I'm not here to really please anybody, so it doesn't really affect me. But also, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the notification bell. If you're a new subscriber, then welcome aboard, and everything like that. So there'll be plenty more where that came from. With that being said, as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Whenever the hell that may be. But until then, the WWE champion has spoken, and watch me move.